Yuki Tsunoda is one of the shortest drivers in the entire history of Formula One. Yet, despite his size, he is considered one of the most beloved and humorous personalities in the paddock. Japanese hope ignited when Tsunoda made his debut in the main Red Bull car at the Japanese Grand Prix. Expectations were high. With his experience, it was hoped that the second car of the Austrian team would run closer to Max Verstappen's pace. Unfortunately, this did not materialize. Following a season of low performance, the door to the coveted seat closed. Red Bull moved the samurai to the role of test driver, making way for new talents like Isack Hadjar and Arvid Lindblad at Racing Bulls. But behind the helmet lies a story of profound personal transformation and a relentless pursuit of perfection that defines his entire career. Here are 5 facts you didn't know about Yuki Tsunoda. The Gymkhana mechanic. Yuki's entry into motorsport was not paved by wealthy sponsors or a family dynasty, but by the grease-stained hands of his father, Nobuaki Tsunoda. Nobuaki was a successful Gymkhana racer in Japan, a discipline focused on precision, driving through obstacle courses. Crucially, he served as Yuki's mechanic throughout his entire karting career. This wasn't just a father supporting his son, it was a hands-on education in the mechanical realities of racing. While other young drivers were shielded from the technical side, Yuki was intimately involved in setting up his own karts, learning how a small adjustment to the chassis or the engine could translate into a tangible difference on the track. This deep practical understanding of car dynamics, instilled from the age of 9, is a rare asset in modern F1, allowing him to communicate with engineers with a clarity that belies his age. The consequence of this upbringing is a driver who not only pushes the limits on track, but understands the machine beneath him on a fundamental level. The lazy bastard. Upon entering Formula One, Tsunoda was quickly moved from the UK to Faenza, Italy, the home base of his team, AlphaTauri. This move was not merely logistical, it was a direct intervention by Red Bull's management, particularly team principal Franz Tost, who recognized that Yuki's raw speed was being undermined by a lack of discipline and physical fitness. Tsunoda himself later admitted he was a lazy bastard before the move, relying heavily on Uber Eats for every meal and spending his free time playing video games. The Italian relocation forced a complete overhaul of his lifestyle. He was put on a strict diet, a rigorous training regimen, and made to live under the watchful eye of the team. This forced immersion into a professional athlete's life, away from the comforts of home, was the crucible that forged the more consistent, physically capable driver we see today, proving that sometimes the greatest challenge is not the competition, but the self. The F1 debut that broke a record. Yuki Tsunoda's Formula One debut was instantly legendary, not just for the points he scored, but for the manner in which he achieved them. He finished 9th, becoming the first Japanese driver in 7 years to score points on his debut. However, the true spectacle was his aggressive, clinical overtaking. In the final laps, he executed a daring move on the 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso, a driver he grew up watching. The move was a symbolic passing of the torch, a statement of intent from the rookie. What is often overlooked is the immense pressure he was under. He was the first driver born in the 2000s to even start an F1 race. His performance was so universally praised that even the notoriously demanding Helmut Marko of Red Bull was quick to laud his fantastic debut, a rare and high compliment that cemented his place in the sport. His physical size advantage. At 5'2", Yuki Tsunoda is the shortest driver on the current Formula One grid.
I love how they made Yuki the same size as everybody.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Conventional wisdom suggests this should be a significant advantage, as a smaller, lighter driver allows the team more flexibility with ballast placement, potentially improving the car's center of gravity and overall performance. However, Tsunoda has repeatedly downplayed this perceived benefit. He points out that while his weight is low, the physical constraints of the cockpit mean he still needs to be positioned correctly, and the difference in weight compared to a taller driver is often negligible once the mandatory driver weight limit is factored in. Furthermore, his small stature requires specific, custom-made modifications to the cockpit, such as specialized pedal extensions and seat inserts, which can complicate the car setup. The reality is that his height is more of a unique characteristic than a guaranteed performance edge. The title that almost didn't happen. Before his rapid ascent through the European ladder, Tsunoda won the 2018 Japanese F4 Championship. However, the victory was far from a comfortable cruise. The title fight came down to the final race, and it was a moment of pure calculated aggression that secured his future. He executed a daring, high-risk overtake on his main rival, a move that was criticized by some as overly aggressive but ultimately proved his championship mettle. Had he failed to win that title, his path to Europe and the Red Bull Junior team would have been significantly more difficult, potentially derailing his entire F1 dream. That single high-stakes maneuver in a junior series race was the pivotal moment that unlocked the door to the global stage, demonstrating that his willingness to take risks has been a defining trait from the very beginning. Yuki Tsunoda is more than just a Formula One driver. He is a cultural bridge, a symbol of the modern globalized athlete who must adapt and overcome not just technical challenges, but profound personal and cultural shifts. His journey is a compelling narrative of raw talent meeting ruthless discipline. He has proven that size is no barrier to speed, and that a fiery spirit, when channeled correctly, can be a powerful asset. As he continues to evolve, shedding the rookie mistakes and embracing the consistency of a seasoned professional, Tsunoda remains one of the most exciting and unpredictable talents in the sport, a driver whose next chapter is eagerly anticipated by fans around the world. He is the embodiment of the relentless pursuit of speed, and his story is still being written. Comment down below if you think Tsunoda has a seat in any team in the coming years.